The Dallas Cowboys are back in the headlines. Micah Parsons has officially requested a trade after trying to get a new contract from this Dallas Cowboys team. And it gets me thinking, what the hell are the Dallas Cowboys doing?
Jerry Jones, in my opinion, just needs to let it go, right? Just get rid of his GM position right now because it's not good for this football team. We've seen this cycle before with CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, even to a point with Ezekiel Elliott, if you even want to go a little bit further in the past. But now with Micah Parsons, who is literally a bona fide top 5 edge rusher in the NFL, top 4, with TJ Watt in the mix, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, and then the 5th place will probably be Nick Bosa. Not in any ranking, but off the top of my head, he is a bona fide top 5 pass rusher.
Game wrecker.
He's a full-on game wrecker. He's going to be a Super Bowl winning. He's going to be one of those players that could make that Super Bowl winning play like how Aaron Donald did against the Cincinnati Bengals. He is that guy. And you're pissing him off? That makes no sense to me.
So, like, you're saying take out the GM duties. The problem with that is, at the end of the day, he's the owner. He's the one who's going to cut the check, right? So, like, even if you take out the GM duties, it's like, what's going to stop him from being involved, right? I hate the fact that he's an owner and a GM and all that, like, but even like then, at the end of the day, when you look at certain owners, they're involved in the GM duties. They're doing that. He just happens to run it himself. I disagree with that completely. I'm not going against what you're saying, but at the end of the day, he's the owner, right? So he's gonna cut the game. He's gonna cut the players' checks, coaches' checks, everyone's checks, right? So ultimately, Jerry Jones is the big issue here. And the sad thing is, like, year after year, like, yes, it just seems like he wants to be in the headlines. At the end of the day, you didn't give Dak the money. Dak ends up playing on his franchise tag year, gets hurt, still ended up making him, I don't know if he became the highest paid in this first contract. And then now this past year, I think they wanted to correct the wrongs. They just gave him the $60 million. Fine, whatever. You don't want to deal with more drama that way. Fair. CeeDee Lamb, same thing. Like, you guys in the Bengals, I don't know what's wrong with you guys not paying your superstars early. So you could avoid this situation, avoid any drama, and you don't have to pay them as much compared to like what you have to pay them now. Right? Like, for example, for the Bengals, Jamar Chase didn't need to get $40 million this year. He could have gotten something in the 30s this year. Right? So not only you guys are ruining it, and back to the Cowboys too, you're kind of ruining for the other GMs and stuff. Like, damn, like you guys are resetting the market. Now we have to reset the market with our guy and all that, right? But like, again, going back to this Micah Parsons situation, I just don't get it, right? Like, the guy, you knew he was a stud from year one. Point blank. You knew he was a stud from year one. By year 2, 3, you pay him essentially, obviously not what he wants, but the way you're handling the situation, trying to negotiate with no goodwill. There's a reason why players have agents and you're trying to negotiate without an agent. I would understand if he didn't have an agent. Simple, right? He has an agent. That's his job to do. That's what Micah pays his agent to do. And you're trying to say like, oh yeah, we try to hold negotiations. Micah didn't want to. But then reports are, the agent agent wasn't present or whatever the case may be. Like, he's there. I respect Micah for being there just for his teammates. He said that. So he's not gonna do a lot of that stuff. But like, I don't know how you guys run the business and the business side of things. The football side of things, they're fine. Like, they draft well. Dak was a 4th round pick. CeeDee Lamb they took. Micah Parsons fell to them and they obviously took him and all that stuff like that. They do that side of things well. The business side is mind boggling.
So to essentially kind of put everything together and summarize the situation, Micah Parsons and Dallas Cowboys are further apart from a contract extension than they were in April. That's number one. Number two, they have done this many times before with CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and even to a point with Ezekiel Elliott. CeeDee Lamb, we already know he's a bona fide wide receiver, and they ended up folding in a sense, and obviously he got his money. But in this one, no other player, not CeeDee Lamb, not Dak Prescott, not Zeke Elliott, requested a trade. Micah Parsons is the first one that actually requested a trade. The Dallas Cowboys have never, other than, you have to go back a long time. I believe it's in the 1990s. They traded, that's the only time they traded a Pro Bowl when they had their Pro Bowl safety, and they traded him away that year, the year he made the Pro Bowl. Micah Parsons has been in the Pro Bowl literally every single...
Screw the Pro Bowl, he's an all-pro.
Yeah, he's an all-pro. He's all-pro every single year of his career, essentially. And he's requested a trade. And Jerry Jones is coming out and saying, we're not going to trade him, but at the end of the day, we got to see what they can do to figure out, like, if they're going to trade him or re-sign him. But the situation is that nobody has requested a trade up until Micah Parsons. And when you go into a little bit of the details and hear the tone of his message sent in the trade request, I no longer want to be here anymore, right? With Myles Garrett's situation and him resigning, Garrett kind of gave it like, oh, it feels like my time is up. I need to go in a winning situation now. But then obviously Garrett ended up
Folded
resigning.
and got the money.
And he folded and got the money. Like, that's what Garrett did. This tone is different. He's genuinely pissed off, right? And that's the big factor here, because when you're looking at it, he could easily just be like, oh, I'm going to play one more year and walk in free agency. Right, obviously the franchise tag is still there,
give another F to the face and join his hometown Philly.
Maybe he could do that, but I'm just saying, like, obviously the franchise tag is there and he will be franchise tag.
100%.
But when you're looking at it, getting this done now is so important for Dallas and making a decision now, because at the end of the day, the leverage they have is going down day by day, and it's very important that they make this decision now.
Here's the thing. You said, obviously the report came out, Jerry Jones is not going to trade him. The Dallas Cowboys fans should not be losing sleep over it. Okay, then why are you making the comments about his injuries thing? Like,
exactly.
He's like that. Like, you're saying stuff already to piss him off, and you're not going to trade him. And I feel like and we're going to end the video with, like, when we get to that point about, is he ultimately going to get traded? Stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where we're going to make our essential prediction of what's going to happen. And I'm not even going to go down the line of which team should trade for him, because every team should be trading for him regardless. And we know the teams that need the pass rushers, and the teams that do have the cap space, like the New England Patriots and all that stuff, right? I'm not even going to go entertain that.
There's no point.
There's no point.
Like, he's that valuable.
Doesn't matter even if you have Myles Garrett.
It's a valuable position, and it's one of the best players at that valuable position in his prime.
Exactly.
Right.
But yeah, so now I'm gonna talk about the Jerry Jones, like, so you're just making comments, right? And then, like, his coaching hiring decisions from Jason Garrett to then you got Mike McCarthy, which was, you're trying to simply take control of the situation, handle it. I don't want to say yes men necessarily, but that's what it kind of feels like. And now, like, no one was looking at Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer, I'm not trying to disrespect the guy. I don't know much about him. I know he wasn't great in certain situations. I know he had a stint with Indy for a little bit as well. He may be a great head coach for all we know, but we know why he got hired. It's because Jerry still wants to have control ultimately, right? Like, his name was not on the radar of anybody in the NFL. You had Dan Quinn sitting there. You decided to keep Mike McCarthy. Dan Quinn moved on, right? That was the only one that I would have been like, okay, perfect. So ultimately, when it comes to this, like, this whole Dallas Cowboys fiasco, to me, it just feels like reality TV. They just want to be in the news. Then they're going to be like, okay, well, we paid our guy now. Like, after disrespecting guys. Like, you've disrespected guys long enough to the point where Micah Parsons sat there and saw you disrespect CeeDee Lamb last year. He sat there and I don't know if it was drafted when the Doc thing happened, but he sat there and saw that still in general from an outside looking in. If he wasn't drafted, forgive me because I don't fully remember.
It's been quite a while
right?
now.
So now you're disrespecting him, a star pass rusher who's like you said is a game wrecker, probably most likely top 5 in the NFL, if not top 3 in some people's eyes. At a valuable position. I understand the Zeke one a little bit, sure, but even then you caved. And now that was like a bad contract when you gave it to him. This is not going to be a bad contract. He's 25, 26 years old, premier position, pay the man, right? What did Garrett get? 40? And then
Garrett got 40.
TJ surpassed that, right?
Yeah.
He should honestly you reset the market. At this point, you reset the market. You're the Dallas fucking Cowboys. You're the fucking biggest team in the NFL, all right? Excuse my language, but you're the Dallas motherfucking Cowboys. Right? It's not like you're a small market team or anything like that. You're America's, quote unquote, America's team. So get it done. Simple as that. If the relationship isn't completely broken.
From the fan perspective, I would say we are enjoying this.
I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. You see me wearing my
From the fan
jersey.
perspective, we are enjoying this really well, because if you have an opportunity to see Micah Parsons go away from the Dallas Cowboys,
especially that division,
everyone, especially if you're Eagles fan, Giants fan, or a Commanders fan, everyone's gonna love that.
Well, I don't want him coming to our division if it's not my team.
Exactly. Obviously, a guy like Micah Parsons shouldn't be allowed to be available in the first place.
Exactly.
And guys like him just don't get available. And especially in situations when they are in the Dallas Cowboys, the only exception is Myles Garrett, but obviously he folded. But we're gonna transition to obviously if he's gonna be traded or not. But before I say that, I want to say this. I know Terry McLaurin requested a trade.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this much. I feel if I were to pick one or the other who will get traded, I am going to put my money on Micah Parsons more so than Terry McLaurin.
I mean, every wide receiver that requested a trade in the last couple of years all ended up re-signing. But before we continue with our prediction and the next question I have for you, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. As you can tell, this is a football channel. We started, so make sure you guys, we want the support. Hit that subscribe, post notification bell. Every division preview is coming. We just dropped our tier list, so we want you guys' thoughts, comments, everything below. Football season is a month away, so we'll be dropping all our division previews, predictions, everything. So we thank you guys who have subscribed so far, and continue subscribing if you have not at the moment. But before we get to the final prediction, this is a question I have for you. How much of this is similar to the Khalil Mack situation, and can you use that trade model that Khalil Mack originally from the Oakland Raiders to I don't know if they went to Las Vegas at that point, but the Raiders to the Bears? How much of that situation is similar, and would you do? That's the trade package essentially you're looking at.
The Raiders are a mid team. Right, when you're looking at it, at that time they're a mid team, so you could kind of see like a Myles Garrett type of thing, where like Khalil Mack wants to play for someone competitive. Obviously, he went to the Bears, and that didn't really do much.
I mean, the first year was not bad,
but at the end of the day, it's the Bears, so like that didn't really do much at the end of the day. So when you're looking at it, I would say that in terms of the trade request type, it's a little bit different. I'll probably compare that to Myles Garrett when he requested his trade from the Cleveland Browns. But when I'm looking at trade packages, I would say this is probably quote unquote very similar, because at that time Khalil Mack got traded. He was one of the bona fide, one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. Same level as Micah Parsons. Maybe Parsons could be a little bit better at this moment, but Khalil Mack was a different beast too. So like they're quote unquote top 3 bona fide, top 5 bona fide in the NFL. So obviously they are in a similar level, similar tier. And at that time, Khalil Mack was at the age of 27, which is obviously his prime years. So when I'm looking at it, that package, it was 2 first-round picks for Khalil Mack, and the Chicago Bears also received a second-round pick as well. And I believe there was another late-round pick involved in that trade that went to the Oakland Raiders. But we're looking at this trade right now, you're essentially saying 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons. So whatever teams have the cap space and have the draft capital, that's what it's going to take to get a guy like Micah Parsons.
And if I'm Micah, like obviously he would want to stay in division, especially where Philly. But we know that Dallas ain't going to trade him to anyone in the division. And in my opinion, if the most likely team would be Washington.
The most stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, the most likely decision would be Washington. But then even then, like he's going to wreck you guys every single
It'll
game.
be the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
But
if that happens.
So coming down to it, ultimately, if you were to predict week 1, first of all, a couple of part questions here. Is he getting traded? Where is he going to play to start week 1, essentially? Is he holding out? Like, those are pretty much your options you have here. Holding out, traded, or playing for the Dallas Cowboys, week 1.
I don't think he's going to hold out because of his like attitude towards his teammates. He wants to be there for his teammates. So I feel like that he won't put his teammates in a bad position
if he were
like
to stay,
that. So I am confident, like even if the situation is going on, I'm confident that this guy will be playing in week 1, whether it be a Cowboys or not. But I don't think Micah Parsons will be the guy to hold out, because I feel like, the thing you mentioned, he's showing up for his training camp and his practices, right? So if he's doing that, why would he not play the games? The reason why the players play is on the games, right? I'm going back to the Allen Iverson meme of practice. Yeah. Right? This is what we're going to. If he's at practice, he will be at the game. So I'm very confident that this guy will not hold out if this situation continues. In the terms of trading and not trading, the Dallas Cowboys have the control. It's just simple as that. They do. With that and the franchise tag, they just genuinely have the control. So when I'm looking at it, he will be a Cowboy in week 1. I don't think a trade will happen anytime soon, in my opinion. But in terms of contract extension, I could still see that happening before week 1 or even early on in the season. But I'm fairly confident that Micah Parsons is going to be a Dallas Cowboy to start off the year. But that doesn't change the fact where like the tone he used in his trade request kind of gives me a vibe that this is probably the most confident, or probably the highest spirit, I guess, or highest likeliness, which is still pretty low, below 50% in my opinion. But like, I'm still feeling that this guy could get traded just because of the tone he used in his messaging. So because of that, I think like there's a chance he does get traded. But let's be real here, right? We're gonna stay grounded with this news. The Dallas Cowboys have control. And at the end of the day, right now, whatever Jerry Jones is saying is what's going to go in Dallas Cowboys.
Sad thing is the Cowboys are a good team too, right? Like, and then the Cowboys, like week 1, let's say he is a Cowboy, he blows it up. His money's gonna just go even higher and higher at the end of the point. If you were to predict a team to trade for him, who would that team be? Just like, this is just out of left field, dream world. What team is he gonna be on?
I'm looking at teams that are not there, but are looking to take the next step. And you mentioned this team before. I'm looking at the New England Patriots because, one, they have the cap space. This was a team that was coming into free agency, had one of the largest cap spaces in the NFL. And number two, they're obviously going to have the draft capital. And with the offseason that the Patriots had, they're obviously going to be a better team. And with Drake May getting a little bit more experience, he should be a better team and a better play caller in Josh McDaniels, who as an OC is a good, not as a head coach, obviously. And getting a culture setter like Mike Vrabel in the locker room. This Patriots team is going to take steps forward this year. And if they really want to go all in on this opportunity, they have the draft capital, they have the cap space, and another positive, they have Drake May on his rookie deal, which is the reason why they have this cap space, and will be able to pay Micah Parsons, which is gonna feel like $40 million per year.
For me, first of all, I agree with everything you said. I think he's gonna be a Dallas Cowboy week 1. I don't think he will get traded at any point. He seems like a guy that will play. Everything you said, I agree with. Now, to end off the video, my prediction where he's gonna end up being traded, I agree with that part as well. But if I were to pick another team, there are obviously options like, Detroit pair him up with Aiden Hutchinson. You could get him, like just various different teams in general, right? I don't know why this is a weird one. I don't know what the cap situation is like. This team drafted they gave up a lot of draft capital to move up in the draft and draft this pass rusher. I think it was James Pierce Jr. And they obviously drafted Jalen Walker, right? I'm pretty sure I'm not butchering the name. Atlanta Falcons is what I'm talking about linebacker wise. I feel like Atlanta, they need pass rush help big time. I'm not saying, I'm saying they should go out and get him. And I'm going to predict that's in a dream world. That's what they will do. They have a young guy they could trade if Dallas really cares, just wants a cheap guy that has potential of not being at the level of Micah Parsons. They have that. So I'm gonna say Atlanta Falcons, but then we know what happens when you try to trade a guy for that position. Traylon Burks just got released. That A.J. Brown trade is horrible for the Tennessee Titans. So this is what this is going to remind me of if it ends up being that. But I'm going to just go with the Atlanta Falcons because of the need. And they have, instead of the draft capital, they have a couple of young pieces that they could give up in a trade as well. But
as Indianapolis Colts fans, obviously, we
Dream World is us.
Dream World is us.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, that wraps it up for us Cowboys fans. Comment down below. Grieve. Whatever you guys want to do. We want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Is Micah Parsons getting traded? NFL fans in general, do you think Micah Parsons is going to get traded? Is this just a contract ploy? We'll see what ends up happening. We want to hear your thoughts. As mentioned, hit the subscribe button. We're dropping more content multiple times a week up until the NFL season starts. Up here, our QB ranking tier list is up. We want to make sure you guys click that video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.